Hi everyone, welcome once again to Dada's FoodCrave Kitchen. If you are new to my channel, I want to thank you for stopping by. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. You'll be the first to be notified whenever I upload a video. In today's recipe, I am going to be making fried fish with cassava and boiled beans and gravy. Back home in Gambia, we call it nyambe nyebe and fried fish. So if you are interested in seeing how I make this fried fish cassava and boiled beans with gravy on the top, please stay tuned. And without any further ado, let's get cooking. Alright guys, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna soak my beans overnight. The reason why you want to soak your beans overnight, it will help it to cook faster the next day. When you soak it in water, you know, the beans will kind of swell up a little bit. So I'm using black eyed peas here. I just wanted to measure it and see total how much cups in that bag is. So that's 2 cups. So that's what you want to do. You want to soak your black eyed peas overnight so that it will be easy to cook the next day. If you don't want to soak it overnight, you can start cooking it like that. If you don't have a pressure cooker, I mean, you can boil it or just use a pressure cooker. So I have my cassava, which some people call yuca, and I also have my onions. You need some tomato paste. I'm gonna make a lot of gravy and 1 fresh tomato. If you don't have fresh tomato, make sure you use, you know, cut tomatoes in the can. I have my habanero peppers and some fish from some shrimp cube. You also need some scallions, green onions. And this was my beans that I soaked overnight. It's all swollen up from last night. I added 1 more cup later because the 2 cups was not enough, so I added total 3 cups. You could make how many cups you want. Also have my homemade ginger paste. You could check that video out too. It's posted how to make your own ginger garlic paste. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna cut my yuca, cassava. Cassava is just like yam, like potatoes, like sweet potatoes and stuff, but it's not sweet. So you want to cut them up like so. Sometimes you will come across some cassavas that are really tough and not so good cassava. It's like just full of like roots. Those ones I don't use them. I just kind of like throw them out. So I'm just chopping up my cassava, my yuca. And then what I'm doing now, I'm just going to peel them off. All the skin off. You want to peel all the skin off. You don't want to cook it with the skin. I've never seen anybody cook cassava with the skin. So you just want to go around it. Like so. And you cannot use your potato peeler or your vegetable peeler to peel a cassava. I mean, maybe you can try it. I'm old-fashioned. I like using my knife. That peeler stuff, I don't know. I'm not a fan. I mean, I have them, but I barely use it. So I use my knife to peel stuff off. And if you come across any brown spots, just kind of cut it off. So that's what I'm doing. I just wanted to show you how to peel the cassava, the yuca. You will find these cassava in many grocery stores, mainly in a Spanish store, Haitian store. In your local grocery store, you should be able to find them there. So I'm just gonna clean up and peel my onions as well. Like I said, I'm using 3 big onions and my scallions there, one bunch. So I'm gonna blend 2 onions, 2 big onions with the scallions, and then the other onion I'm just gonna slice it. You guys will see what I'm doing with that in the middle of the video. So just wanted to show you guys, this is how I kind of like clean up my fish. I don't leave no fins, because those, you see how sharp they are on the edges? You don't want to leave those on there. Oh my goodness, they can poke you and leave a hole in your finger or something. That's why it's very important also to have a kitchen scissors. So when you have a kitchen scissors, just kind of cut the fins out like so. It's so easy. It makes the fish look good too after it's fried, because trust me, those are very, very sharp and pointy. They can really poke a hole on your finger. So you just cut it up like so. All the scales were taken out. I bought it like that, so I don't need to scrape the scales out, and it was already open. The inside, it's already the guts are already taken out also. All I'm doing right now, I'm just kind of like dressing the fish up a little and cut the fins out. See, they're very sharp, very, very sharp. Get you a kitchen scissors, it will make your life easy. Even a kitchen scissors can help you cut your vegetables and, you know, beef, whatever it is. It's just like using a knife, but you know. So that's what I do, like so. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna wash all my vegetables, my onions and stuff. Make sure I rinse them out really good. So you want to wash your stuff. You don't want to be cooking not washing. I'm also gonna rinse my cassava, yuca. Spanish people call it yuca. Rinse that out as well. Whoops. Like I say, if you see any kind of brown discoloring stuff on the cassava or the yuca, just cut it off. So what I'm gonna do now that my fish, what I'm doing now, I'm just run it over the sink. First, I'm gonna pour some salt into the fish, and I'm also gonna pour some vinegar into the fish. That's how I wash my fish, to take out most of the bacteria out or whatever. That's how I wash pretty much most of my stuff, my chicken and my beef. I first put salt and vinegar and just run it through water. This will make sure your fish or your meat or your chicken is washed pretty good. You know, the vinegar and the salt will kind of help make sure your meat is washed. All that bacteria, you don't know, like I said, where it came from. And I'm just gonna open the head of the fish and take the gill out, as you can see, like so. Right here, I'm gonna take that out. So you just kind of open it up and cut. And just take it out like so. You see, some people like to leave that on. I don't. I take them out. Like I said, I don't have to scrape the scale out of the fish, because that was already, it came like that. It was already scaled out and the guts were already taken out. I guess maybe they forgot to take that out too. Maybe they figure out some people like to keep that. I don't, like I said. So once my fish is all washed, I'm just gonna rinse it again the second time, and my fish will be nice and clean. See how clear and clean it is? You want to make sure you wash your fish. Whatever you're putting in your stomach, you want to make sure it's clean. So now that our fish is all washed, really nice and clean, drain all the water out. So I'm just gonna season my fish with some onion powder. I'm just gonna use 1 teaspoon of onion powder. I'm also gonna use some garlic powder. And I'm gonna use some lemon pepper on the fish. This will make the fish come out really lemony and really taste really good. I'm also using some fish seasoning. Like I said, if you use the lemon pepper seasoning, if you don't have lime, that will kind of like take its place of squeezing some lemon into the fish if you don't have no lemon at home. I'm also going to use some salt, kosher salt. You could use any kind of salt you like, regular salt, sea salt, whatever salt you like. You know me, guys, I'm all about the seasoning. You don't necessarily have to use this seasoning. Some people just simply use salt and black pepper into their fish, and some lemon, squeeze some lemon in it. You don't even have to put some lemon if you don't want. But since I'm making fried fish, this type of meal, you know, fried fish and cassava with beans, I want my fish to taste really good. So I'm just gonna use 1 lemon, and I'm gonna squeeze that into the fish. First, before I do that, I want to make some incision on the fish. Like so, straight down across. You can cut it sideways, like slanted. And back home, when you making fried fish and cassava like that, this is how they pretty much. So you cut it up like that. Like I said, back home, when you go buy fried fish and cassava in the evening or stuff like that, this is how the fried fish will look. Cut it all sideways like that across. Like I said, you don't have to cut your fish like that. You can cut it slided sideways. Pretty much when you're making fried fish, this is pretty much the style. Fried fish and cassava. In Banjul they call it, in Gambia they call it nyambe nyebe. Nyambe nyebe and fried fish. So now that I made some incision on my fish, what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna squeeze some lemon in it. Like I said, if you don't have any lemon, no worries, it's okay. You don't have to squeeze lemon in it, no worries. Or you can just use some lemon pepper seasoning, that should be fine, because the lemon pepper seasoning, it has lime in it too, and some black pepper and salt and other seasoning in it. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna sprinkle all the seasoning mix that I added on there, my garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and then after I season it, I'm just gonna let it sit for a little bit. Then I'll prepare the other stuff a while if I can fry my fish. Nyambe nyebe, that's how they call it, nyambe nyebe. Fried fish with cassava and beans. In Gambia, you can go buy this. It's part of it's more it's a home cooked meal too, but some people make it business. They will sell it. I remember I used to go buy some, you know, in some corners in Gambia, some places in Banjul where I'm from. So now my fish is all seasoned. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit while I prepare the rest of the other stuff. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna chop up my scallions and put it in the blender. Also cutting up my onions and my fresh tomato. Like I said, if you don't have fresh tomato, you could use the canned tomato dice. They all work the same. I'm using some jimbo. It's a shrimp jimbo. Like I said, whenever I'm cooking fish, I think it's the right way to just add anything that's seafood seasoning into your fish sauce or whatever it is that you're making. But if you don't have it, whatever you have as a season cube, that's fine as well. Now I'm gonna add 1 spoonful of my homemade ginger garlic paste. Into the blender. As you can see, I didn't use all 3 onions. I'm saving that 1 onion. You will see why later. I'm also gonna add some salt. So what I'm gonna do now, what I'm doing here is just blended up all the ingredients. Once again, it happened again. I thought I pressed the record button while the onions was blending, but I didn't. But this was the after effect when everything got blended. My onions, my scallions, my habanero pepper. So I put my soaked beans into my pressure cooker. If you don't have a pressure cooker, you can boil this in a pot. It all works the same. But the pressure cooker will definitely help your beans to cook faster. It can help you cook less than 20 minutes. So that's what I'm using now. If you have a pressure cooker, more power to you. Pressure cooker can turn your cooking time in half. Because boiling these beans, sometimes you will have to go back and keep adding water and all that stuff. But if you have a pressure cooker and you're cooking any type of beans or boiling any kind of meat like cow foot and, you know, beef, you want to make any type of soup, you definitely need some pressure cooker because it will definitely cut your cooking time in half. Get you a kitchen scissors, a pressure cooker, you know, all those gadgets that you need that will help your cooking time in half. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna add some oil into a hot pan, getting ready to fry my fish. You could use any type of frying pan that you have at home that's non-stick, because you don't want to use a pan to fry your fish and have your fish all got sticky from the bottom of the pot. I'm also gonna start boiling my cassava, my yuca. You put some water on there and add some salt. So once your oil is already heat up, you want to add your fish into your hot oil and let it start frying. I have a bigger pan that I can fit at least 4 fish into the pan. It seems like my oil is not hot, but it is hot. It's because of the lemon that I add on the fish. That's why it doesn't look like it's sizzling. But trust me, the oil is hot. And you also don't want the oil to be too super hot, because you want your fish to fry. These were all the juice, all the marinated from the fish. If I was cooking fish pepper soup, I would definitely use that marinade. So what you want to do, you want to wait till your fish is all nice and brown on the one side. And flip it over to the other side. See, that's the color you want to look for. Sometimes they tend to stick together. So you want to make sure you handle them really gently, because it's very fragile. It could just break. Fish and chicken, they tend to break really easily. As you can see, the other side is all nicely golden brown. I'm just going to take the fish out. I'm trying to be really gentle here with the fish because I don't want it to break. Yeah, I really don't want it to break. So what I'm doing, I'm just checking the one side, see if it's brown to the color that I want. You know, fish doesn't take long to cook. What I'm doing right now, I'm just looking for the color. So this one fish is already brown. The color is perfect. Just gonna take it out and drain some of the oil out and put it on a paper towel. Yeah, the fish wanted to break on me. I was having a little struggle there picking them up. You can see my fish is all fried up really nice. So I'm just gonna take them out of the hot oil. That one was giving me a headache. It wanted to break, so I think when I scoop it up with a lot of oil. But yeah, so now that my fish is all nicely fried and brown, look how pretty that looks, guys. This is a perfect fried fish. So I took some of the oil from the fish that I fried. That's why you see all them brown spots into the oil. I took some of the oil out. There's no need for me to get a fresh oil from a bottle or something. That oil where I was frying the fish, that was perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Actually, I'm not even going to throw that oil away. I'm going to save it. So this is why I saved one of the onion. I didn't blend it. This is how I like to cook my gravy. Like if I'm using like 3 onions to make a gravy, I always save 1 extra onion to give it that more texture into the sauce. It's gonna be cooked, but it also gonna give it that little bit of texture. I always like to slice one in the side and start frying that one first, if I can add in my blended onion. So once you do that, you let the onion fry a little bit until it's a little translucent, and then you add your blended onions, your ginger garlic paste, habanero pepper. So I added some tomato paste, and then once you add that, you just want to keep stir frying your sauce. And you don't want to add water into this sauce. This is fried fish with gravy. That's how we actually call it, fried fish with gravy. This is the gravy sauce for the beans and the cassava. Do not add any water into this type of sauce. When you're making fried fish with gravy, don't add water. You want to keep stir frying it. Add bay leaves for a flavor, and I'm also adding more shrimp cubes just for taste. I needed more salt. You just want to, like I said, stir frying it until, make sure your heat is not too high. Stir fry it in a very medium high temperature. Keep stir frying it. The onions will ooze its own sweetness. The onions will be so sweet. I mean, if you want, you could add a pinch of sugar into the gravy. That's fine. You don't have to do it. Sometimes, like I said, onions tend to have its own sweetness. You know, no water added into this sauce, please. So as you can see, my beans, it's all cooked really nice. Yes, there's some water in the beans, so I'm just gonna scoop some of the water out. Not all of the water, because you want to leave a little bit of water into the beans. And then I guess I didn't show you guys that I scooped some of the water, but I did scoop some of the water out. And what you want to do is just kind of use your mashed potato masher and just mash the beans. At this point, it looked very, very soupy like, but trust me, I'm gonna let these beans sit a little bit for like a couple minutes, because once it gets cold, it's gonna be really thick. It's gonna really thicken up. So don't worry about the beans being, you wanna have that little bit of water when you're smashing it. So now that everything is really cooked, my cassava yuca is cooked really nice, my gravy is cooked, my fish is fried, my beans is cooked. This is the end result. So what I'm gonna do here now, I'm just gonna show you guys the end result of my fried fish nyambe nyebe with beans and cassava. Look how pretty this looks, guys. If you are definitely enjoying this video and you really like my channel, while you are it, please just hit that subscribe button. It won't cost you anything, and hit that bell after that subscription, because when you do that, like I said, I always say, you will be the first to know when a new video is uploaded, if you guys are really enjoying my channel. So as we do it back home in Gambia, you just kind of like cut some of the yuca into square shape pieces like that, because the cassava, the yuca, has to be the base of the beans before you can add the beans on top of the cassava. You don't want to add the beans and then add the cassava on top. You have to add the cassava first to be the base, and then you add the beans on top of the cassava. That's how we do it. That's how you serve fried fish with beans and cassava. And I forgot to tell you guys, when you're cooking that gravy sauce, you can use palm oil, you can use your favorite vegetable oil. It don't matter. You can use oil or palm oil to cook that gravy sauce. So now, as you can see, the beans is a little thickened up. So I added some of the beans on top of the cassava and my gravy sauce. So that gravy sauce is going to go on top of the beans. And you can also eat it, dip it in the sauce with your fish. But when you're eating it, you just want to put some of the sauce on top of the beans and the cassava. So I'm just going to decorate it with some lemons here to make it pretty. But you're not going to use the lemon into the fish, because the fish already fried with lemon. Like I said, this is just for a decoration, just for a presentation type of thing. So voila, my nyambe nyebe, if you can say nyambe nyebe, and fried fish is ready. My cassava, fried fish and cassava with beans, black eyed peas is ready. And exactly this is what I wanted to show you. That's how you eat your fried fish with nyambe nyebe and cassava on the side. Sometimes the people just won't even make the beans. They will just make fried fish and cassava. You can eat this with your kenke or whatever it is that you want to eat it with. And voila, this dish is mainly, you will find it in Gambia or Senegal once again. And like I said, if you guys are enjoying this video, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Ta-ta! Bye!